Hey,
Yeah.
good to go?
Yes.
All right. All right, it is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. We're going to open the administrative meeting. Roll call, please.
Trustees Jen,
Here.
William,
Here.
Nathan,
Here.
Chris,
Here.
John,
Here.
Patrick, President Rick,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda,
Here.
Clerk Lisa, I'm here. Deputy Clerk Erica is absent. Public Works Supervisor Fergie,
Here.
Park Supervisor Brody,
Here.
Attorney Mark,
Hi. Good to be back.
Good to see you.
It's here.
Engineer Matt.
Here.
All good?
Yes.
All right. Under me, I have discussion of homeowner association permits. I was called by the, as far as I know, new president of the Oval Coliseum's homeowners association, Miss Susan Butts, and asked about a fence permit that we issued for a home in Oval Crossings, about that we shouldn't have issued it because they don't allow them. Well, we don't enforce their rules. So I explained that to her and said that, there might be something that we can work with them on, to the effect of if it's something outside the house, we can at least give them a heads up that we're going to issue a permit, but nothing that would be inside or personal or anything along those lines. But we'd have to discuss it as a board to decide if we want to even entertain that, because we just don't enforce their rules. That's for them to do however they do it.
Couldn't that be something that they would have to run by their HOA when they're putting it up?
They probably don't think about it that way.
No, my understanding is the person that got the fence permit, according to the president, said that they're putting it up no matter what, because they've got a permit to do it, whether the HOA allows it or not. And I'm like, sure. And however they enforce their stuff is up to them, not up to us.
I am in another community. This exact issue had come up. In fact, they just unwound what had been about 20 years where they had implemented same fact pattern. And what they had implemented was a policy where anyone applying for a permit from an HOA community, just somewhere on the application form, had to sign off that they had notified the HOA. I think it was supposed to be that simple. Somewhere over time, it had grown into the HOAs sort of having to green light something before the village would issue permits, and they got out of the business recently, finding that it was slowing things down and not in their interest. But I guess the theory behind it is, yes, homeowner associations, of course, are responsible for enforcing their own covenants, but until something starts to be constructed outside, they have no idea it's coming if they're not notified. So they are always sort of after the fact, getting in fights that people rip things out and whatever. And that's at least the theory behind why some communities do sometimes have a heads up as part of the permitting process.
Well, the Old Crossing HOA was attempting to go into fund.
That was my understanding of it too, is there was a big push. They were trying to eliminate it with something along the lines.
Period to expire.
Right.
And they were gonna get in this vote, which they thought they had enough votes to do to.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
But
Right.
they're allowed, they're just under certain requirements.
You got fences up over there, so I mean,
Right.
with the fence, they gotta take care of.
Tony had a fence, didn't he? Didn't Tony have a fence?
Yeah. So they must have permitted, he never would have put one up without it. They must allow.
I just thought I'd bring it up for discussion and see if anybody had any ideas, if we want to go down that road. If we want to put a little box on there that says I've talked to the HOA about it, so we can at least, or if we just want to let them fight their own battles.
Or you could put, have you talked to your HOA?
No.
That's.
I'd rather stay on it, something between them and their residents.
It's nothing to do.
I would,
All right.
in case it changes, where it evolves, we don't have to change anything or evolve.
But it still has to be permitted and inspected whether they allow.
That's us.
Yeah.
We will
Right.
enforce our rules, not theirs.
Right. Again, we don't do covenants. We don't do HOA stuff. We don't, that's not us. Patrick?
I don't know, maybe get involved in it.
I know where you are, Doc.
No, I don't want to get involved.
All right. I will let her know.
I think being the dirty one is the dirty work.
Lisa?
I do not have anything to report.
All right. Brenda,
April treasurer's reporter there, because I messed it up last meeting. But I also emailed it to you guys, so you can look at it twice. That's all.
any questions on the treasurer's report? Moving on. New business. Need motions.
Motion to approve April 22nd, 2026 admin board meeting minutes.
Second,
John makes a motion to approve April 22nd, 2026 administrative board meeting minutes. Jen seconds. Any discussion on those meetings? Minutes. None. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay.
Motion
Passes. John makes a motion to approve March 11th, 2026 regular board meeting minutes. Jen seconds again. Any discussion on those meetings?
It missed the packet, that's why, on the last meeting, so I just put it in here because it was on the agenda, but it didn't get into the packet, so it's in the packet.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. This is 6:06.
$16.72.
It's a low one.
second,
John makes a motion to approve the bills payable dated May 27th, 2026 in the amount of $68,082.67. Any discussion on the bills payable? That will be roll call.
Patrick? Chris?
Yes.
Jen? William? Nathan?
Yes.
John?
Passes 6:07. All right, last one.
Motion for resolution 26-30, appointing the building official for the village of David Shelley.
Second.
John makes a motion to approve resolution number 26-30. Nathan seconds. A discussion on this resolution.
Are you talking about a company?
Lakeside?
I didn't know.
Contractual, we will do roll call, please.
John?
Yeah.
Patrick? Chris?
Yeah.
Jen?
yes.
William?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
It's also 6:07. All right, move on to Brett. So we had a chicken wing to throw at it.
Thanks, Rings.
No, pretty much business as usual. We finally, just as of basically the end of last week, we finally started to slow down a little bit on the, what I would call the main line locates. We're obviously now we're getting in by the day service locates because everybody's signing up. And then it'll only get worse probably as Frontier goes online, so, we'll still have to do some remarks, but finally catching, so that's.
Are you connected yet?
No, I'm gonna kind of wait and see who's got the better.
I figured you're right there.
Is anybody?
Yeah.
Sir.
I
Like,
can.
good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have no
Live
issue.
in.
It was live on my street.
It's live.
Oh, yeah.
It's live on my street.
Not live at me yet.
I haven't had any outages yet that I'm aware of, but I've.
How was the install?
Super simple. I mean, the only downfall that I personally had was my wife was home when the install person came in, so the discussion between her and the install, where they dropped the cord and had ended up burying it wasn't preferably where I would have done it, but the two of them worked out a plan that works. But other than that, that was the only thing that I would have probably done differently. Super convenient, super quick. The service is great so far. Signing up is super simple, so
Yeah.
I don't have any complaints so far.
Next year, we'll get something with the other ones.
Full year before I can pass.
Well, the price makes it nice too.
Yeah, I got rid of 2 lines coming into the house, and I only run one that is faster than the 2 lines combined. So, yeah,
That's gonna be big savings.
So,
Yeah.
good deal.
Friday.
All right. Brody?
Yeah.
keep it short. First thing is, me and Brenda have been working on trying to get the memorial names updated. We've got 6 names, I believe, that need to be added to the memorial, that have been on the wait list. I could definitely use a refresh with paint. After talking with the company that Brenda had used before, they had told me that in their opinion, they think that a black paint on all of the names and the text out there would be a good option. It would fade a lot less, it would last longer, and they think it would pop on the light gray surface. So I just wanted to bring it to you guys, make sure, obviously that was put in place at some point. I wanted to make sure there wasn't a reason for the red text, and as long as everybody's okay with black, I will pursue that forward.
What was the red for, bloodshed?
There was nothing, the red wasn't significant of anything. It was just the color the artist chose.
Okay.
That made it.
That's basically
I believe-
what I wanted to ask you. Those,
I don't think there's any clauses that we have to keep it or.
no, but, so,
Didn't know if somebody wanted red for bloodshed.
No, that's just.
No, that one's not a memorial. That one is anybody that served.
Yeah, I guess that's.
okay, so, as long as everybody's okay with it, I will move forward with that. And then just quickly, obviously, if you haven't seen already, the splash pad is open. Opened last Saturday, holiday weekend. It's been a huge hit so far. Both myself and Bertie have seen people over there nonstop.
Red was in splash, and I seen the video.
Yes, I know, he was the first one to test it.
He had his water wings on though.
No, but actually, it's been a huge hit, obviously with the hot weather, I assume it's going to get better. But, yeah, everything's been good. We did have, unfortunately, the first case of vandalism out there. They poked through one of the features, it's supposed to spin, so now it collects water, part's already on the way. But, just to throw that out there, unfortunately, that already happened. So
Lovely.
we'll keep an eye on it. We're gonna get some signage to put up, to try to prevent as much as we can, hanging, jumping around, and stuff like that. But, other than that, yes, yes, we did get a new camera. We worked with a new company, now that Kenny Labor isn't doing cameras anymore. So we got that installed. It is a 360 camera, so it now watches the memorial behind towards well 2, splash pad, parking lot, everything over there. So we should be able to keep a better eye on things. And that's kind of our highest traffic area, so to speak. Make sure that we're going as planned. So other than that, that's all I got.
Okay. Matt?
All right, project status report, 72 crosswalk, Plastic Beacon. That bid opening is June 3rd at 10 a.m. The general maintenance for 2026, Dale's got the contracts and bonds out to Struck and Irwin for execution, so once those come back, I'll do the contact with them about start date and schedule. Plat 10, on the page, Plat 10, ditch inspections. We did ditch inspections for the sod only. That was the only thing outstanding at 201 and 202 Autumnwood Lane, 1103, 1109, and 1111 Frosty Morgan Drive on April 28th. All the ditch sod were accepted, all locations except for 1111 Frosty Morning Drive. We did go out and inspect that on May 20th, and that one is acceptable now. So all those 5 locations are good. And we did get another one on Lisa sent to me on Friday. We're going to get out today, but I had a call off today on the person who was going to come up and do the inspection, so he's going to do it tomorrow. So we'll get that one taken care of. The Gateway subdivision development, lot 1 improvements, grease trap was installed in the building, giving a lot of rough ends for the plumbing and electrical. Our light poles are in the process of being constructed, and the curb and gutter in the parking lot area is completed. The infrastructure improvement, we're getting the grading and erosion control to get the site stabilized. We've been in contact with Dale, trying to get in contact with Fisher about when they might start doing the west entrance, because, utilities have moved there, so they can get that completed, and then we're still working with, NICOR on the, gas main relocation at the Fourth Avenue, so with water main cross there. The OSLAD, grant, park project. Some of this is actually old, but, pavilion is completed. I think even the, touch-up work was completed. It looked like they were working on that yesterday when I was meeting with, Brett on the well, one project. Looks like, from the rain events, looks like, the, finding water issues have been resolved there, and then, Brody and us, with, either Dale or Aaron have worked up the initial punch list, and, should be getting all those punch list items completed, should have it done here hopefully by the end of the week, so we can get that project closed out. And then, once it gets completed, I'll get all the, final stuff to, IDNR, so we can get the last of the, grant funds and stuff.
That'd be great.
The OSLA Grant 2026 project, we'll get started, they'll start this week, trying to, get layouts and estimates, following their initial kickoff meeting on what they wanted to include in that application. The Verizon water tower antenna permit application, we sent the review comments back to Verizon. They sent revisions back to, the village on the 21st. And the application, they incorporated all of our comments and stuff in it, so their application was approved on the 22nd. That one is good to go. The well pump rehabilitation project, we've got the project manual completed. That was read on that yesterday, and John for tonight's meeting. I did, for everybody's information, Brett wanted me to kind of put together a cost estimate for it, so everybody was kind of aware of what the cost is, and then I kind of put a tentative schedule. If everybody's good with the cost, we can get the project ready for bidding fairly quickly here. So on the cost estimate, there's what I've got is kind of the base bid, items and stuff there. About $83,000 is what I'm estimating the work for the repairs or the maintenance and repair work on the, pole assembly, the line shaft, column piping, and discharge head assembly. We did include a couple items we may or may not need in there: brushing the well and bailing the well. The brushing is if we have any iron bacteria buildup after we do the televising, they can go in with a kind of a brushing device and clean the well up there. So we've got potentially some contingency items in there that we may not need at the very end. And then the last, once the well's pump has been rehabilitated and back in place, we'll do the disinfection, test pumping, and get the samples so we can put it back into service. So, and then we're taking some supplemental bid items. So depending on the inspections on the bowl assembly and the column piping and the line shaft, we've got some bid items in there for just replacing the complete bowl assembly. Replacing the column piping and replacing the line shaft and stuff there. I put at the bottom a project budget range. You can't add the base bid to the supplemental bid items because some of the items, if we're doing complete replacement of the bowl assembly, column piping and stuff, the threading and the cutting and threading and column piping we're not going to need. And there's some items up at the top that will get deleted if we add some of these supplemental items in it. So I just said for the board, a budget range of $84,000 to $112,000, depending on what we find following the inspection and so on. And then as far as bidding, if we want to get the bid right away, we can get the advertisement in the paper on the Old County Life on the 3rd. And I just figured bid opening on the 17th, and we can award it at your next meeting, this meeting next month on the 24th. So
One is not the one we built in stainless, is it? There's two we built in stainless.
I think 2 is the one that's probably
2 is stainless.
stainless, yeah. Because this one, but knows it hadn't been out since 04.
Yeah, I was under the understanding that it had come out just before I started, but come to find out it had not.
It's been out once since then.
Yes. So
Cause it was out when,
I don't have any.
cause I was here when William, were you here when the pump fell off and fell to the bottom of the well? It got hit by lightning?
Yeah, so later.
I was here. They're trying to fish it out. It's still 700 feet down.
Things, so.
So it was, I was during when I got here in 05, so
John,
were you here? Were you here when that happened?
I remember something falling, we could get it out.
I think
We got a lot of time.
That's work where they fall and pick it up.
We got our money's worth.
Yeah, there you go. I'll be able to tell you 8 to 10 call.
I think I was here because I think I remember going, taking a shot in the dark that we dropped.
Oh yeah, that thing's so used. I want to say it was
It was all
08 or 9. No, these come on, that's the one with the vibration.
Money's worth out of it.
Pardon?
What's that one coming out?
Well, coming out, there was a very, very, very slight vibration. It's coming out because it just needs to be.
We want to run it for failure.
that vibration.
Well, 2 is the one that had the vibration, basically when I started, we did the project 7, 8 years ago, we got done with the project, it's still vibrating. So we're concerned that we actually have a problem in the actual well itself that it just isn't gonna fix.
Either way.
So what do we just put this in the agenda for the next meeting and get it started? I mean, or
Or
We gotta go off a bid.
yeah, we gotta advertise it, you know, like,
That's
but
legal.
you said it's gonna go on the bid one on the 3rd?
Yeah, we put, I can get the,
Yeah.
I can get the advertisement in the paper on Wednesday, as long as I get the notice to them by Friday, so. If everybody's good with that, we'll get the notice in the paper and then we'll see.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. And then the last one, is the Frontier, permit request. Looks like all of them been, approved except for 254-0211, and I've got to check. Is there, no, not here? Oh, so she won't be able to help me. I think there was an email here earlier in the week, and I forgot to double back on the numbers and stuff. I think, Dale reviewed one and approved it and stuff, so it might have been that one, so I'll have to check and verify. They might all be approved, but at the time I put this together, we had one outstanding.
there's actually, I think, been a couple of emails in the last 2 weeks, maybe with the Frontier agreements, so. Yeah.
I think it's maybe just one, because I saw one come back
Yeah.
this week.
And that is it. All right. Well, committees and Jen.
We are still working on our July 3rd event. We have some new things we're working on right now. We did do a meeting before this, so I will have more updates at our next meeting. So
Well, I don't know. The band backed out last night. So, yeah, so we are,
This is my shocking thing.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
A better offer.
I guess, yeah, they said that there was a competing offer, we tried to get it done and then get it to them in time, and then apparently we just missed their deadline for us to get it. Yeah, so, we have found another one that we're in talks with. We have some other options that we're still, we're using, so that way, when it comes time, we'll have options, and then we can just kind of start at the first option and then, you know,
Gen waffles are-
hopefully. Yeah, I don't believe we have the budget for that. The replacement that we have so far, that's number one, I think will do more than an adequate job and be great. Pricing looks a little bit more expensive, but not much. They have a contract to us, just a matter of getting it to the lawyers and then making sure it's on the agenda, for the town. But they didn't get the contract to me till Tuesday, so. My understanding is contracts require reporting. Is how I have been explained it. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to sign this and send it off and get it going already. But my understanding is that because it's a contract, this one I believe is over the spending limit, like $3,500. That is the spending limit? Okay.
Is there a reason that we couldn't, like, having the attorney's approval, let him engage it and
Yeah.
ratify it?
If it's time sensitive, we're worried that June 10th isn't going to be timely. Especially if the board is comfortable with the financial terms and, whatever, we could ratify it on the back end, sign it up front. That is fine until it's not, as long as everybody ratifies it. If everybody says no after you, but we could clean it up in the back end. That's a way to avoid having a special meeting or risking that your guys will be booked before June 10th.
Okay.
So,
How much is it?
It's 3,500, so it's
It's within
$1,000. So, I mean, it's not,
I'm good with it as long as the attorney reviews the contract and gives it to us.
Right.
We can
Yeah.
ratify it.
As we ratify it.
Otherwise, it's separate, if it wasn't a signed contract.
I think the only thing different on this contract that I noticed that different from the other one was the biggest things were like, they required a deposit, and if for some reason we canceled, there was a payment, the other band didn't have.
They didn't want like only green M&Ms or something.
Yeah, nothing crazy like that. There's no retainer, there's special requests or anything like that. I reached out to them just to make sure that, our power is adequate, because there was issues with that, the last band and everything else. So as long as everything aligns with them, I'm gonna hopefully talk to them tonight or tomorrow and make sure everything aligns, and then, because emails are kind of slow.
What was the
So,
name again?
this new one, the Breakfast Club. They're kind of the ED. Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Oh, slap you down.
You like that.
I love that movie.
So, but yeah, so I think they're a great replacement for what we had picked out. The only thing that we're working out still is if they have a sound engineer. The last band provided their own. If not, then we'll still need a sound engineer to do it. So that would be the only other thing that we have. But I have some numbers to call for that. They do not provide that, which is part of it. So.
I thought you did sound when you were traveling with Fish.
I don't do sound for anybody now, other than my ears a lot. Didn't see ears. So.
yes.
But yeah, so that's where we're at now. If this works for the board, then I will go ahead and, I sign that, or does Rick need to sign it? How does that work?
Rick will need to sign it unless we can't delegate the authority right now to you because it's not on the agenda, but, yeah, I would say Rick would be the proper.
I'll get that mailed off, and then as long as that works, we get it signed and sent back to me, and then I'll give it to them, and then we can at least lock that in with them, so. Payment would require, to the board meeting, or could we send out payment, in lieu of that, or would that be the part that included? Yeah, the deposit.
It's within your spending limit, so. I wouldn't see why we couldn't send it.
Thanks, Cindy.
Okay. Just do more of that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest movies I've seen.
That's what I said. Want to make sure that that's so. All right. Perfect. That takes care of it.
That's all I have.
All right, William,
What?
just you.
Welcome.
No.
No emergency band expenditures?
You said no.
Okay,
No.
all right. Move on then. Nathan?
Already covered everything that we have going on. Not spending any money right now except for the new part of some bad.
Chris? Patrick?
Yeah, so, and if didn't make it to the agenda because I was still talking with Lisa Beer on the end of last week, so if we want to have this conversation, we have to put it on the agenda, you let me know. We did have our bid opening several weeks ago, the back of that, out of wastewater. Factor.
Thanks a bachelor pass.
Bachelor.
I guess, but.
We took that out when we built it.
Yeah, so anyway, we had that, there were two bidders, it's only two. So, and I should be able, correct me if I'm wrong, I can go ahead and say it because it's already been announced and I'm assuming it's spoilable and everything else, so I can give the numbers out, right? Yes, thanks, sir. So basically, engineers' opinion probable cost was $214,000, basically $214,000. Low bid was just shy of 326. by like 200. So 325,826. We met, the engineer and myself and the low bid was Kelsey. We met. Mark thought he might be able, because there were several things that were underestimated, mobilization, concrete, there's a half dozen things. We met, Mark thought he might be able to talk to his contract or concrete crew and this and that and see if they could move some numbers and kind of get things dialed in a little bit better. At the end of the day, it's not going to happen the way we thought. We might save a tiny amount. So, I guess the question is, are we comfortable or are we not comfortable with moving forward and actually bringing this for, this is a discussion. So, I thought this is the backer that's Bill Van at wastewater.
Is it important that we get it done this year? Can we wait?
It's not important.
Because the time of year,
It is, we already asked him if it had anything to do with these.
yeah, well,
So-
that's what we're gonna, so, I'm just saying,
Because, well,
I experienced, the earlier you get it out, the better price you get.
yeah, because that was my first question to the engineer, because they are working on this through the winter. I gave them an end of the year deadline to get me those so we could go out to bid in winter. It took longer. Then we had an issue where they had to go back to the manufacturer of one of the parts because they had to wait for their information on moving something. So that took several weeks. So the numbers didn't come in on time. So.
And this is just to separate the solids from the liquids that you dump out.
Yeah, this, so we can know there's a drain system in there and all kinds of good stuff.
We've been talking about this for years.
Years.
Years, because I feel like
Say-
this has been brought up almost every
The
year.
question is, are we comfortable spending over $100,000 more this year?
To answer Chris's question, no, it's not an emergency that we do it this year. But obviously, there's always that hanging over our head that we're gonna pay more next year, we're gonna pay less next year, you're gonna pay the same, but it's whatever you're comfortable.
It will probably always be
It's
more.
not an emergency that we do it this year, it's just something that we need to get.
Well, it's probably gonna deal with whatever their estimate is, right, whether it's gonna be $100,000. If we did it in January 2027. Could we get it back? Could we try?
Possibility.
I mean, just what we can tell them.
Yeah, we can go, yeah.
What was the total amount again?
325,000.
325,826.
I mean, waiting to January, what are we hoping to say, a couple thousand?
No way.
Hopefully, well, we're gonna do it, hopefully.
Their estimate was $214,000. Either their estimate really sucked, or they waited way too long.
Well, and
Your choice.
my first question to the engineer and the contractor was, is this a timing thing? Because my first thought was timing.
Then what are they gonna tell you?
How much did they miss in the concrete mobilization?
And then that too, but that's proves.
Well,
I'm gonna wait.
Brad, Can they do anything with usually with those factor drying facilities, it's really kind of, you size them, there's really no design standards for it, but you size it kind of based off of how many loads you're gonna be taking out there.
Which we did.
Is there a way to break it down and not restrict it too much?
I don't wanna shrink it down too much more, if we don't have to.
Well, that's fine.
The community is growing, it's not getting smaller, so.
Yeah, I didn't really want to.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, cause I would have been thrilled at the actual 214. So yes, no, we did not get the numbers in the time frame that I asked to get.
Here's what we'll know. If we do rebid it in January, and it still comes in at $300,000, we know that.
Well,
I'm just saying. And that's experience. That's part of what we do, because not as many people have the time and, or they've already made their money.
Well, I don't think this board has ever waited and got something cheap.
Oh, we have.
We have, actually, we have.
Yeah, one of those projects.
Maybe it was before my.
It was the quality, not the price.
It would wait, but it's a board decision, so tell us where you stand.
What's your recommendation? Wait or go?
I would wait till January. Absolutely. William?
Patrick, you're the wastewater.
Well, it's gambling, I guess.
It's either you're gonna get them the same amount, or
Yeah. Or it could be.
Same amount, less or more. There's
6
three
months
choices,
isn't gonna
right?
change
You can
anything.
pick one of those.
I mean, how much-
Labor's going up, so.
Big, I mean, could fuel prices coming down effectively alter this price?
That's not.
Could fuel prices going up at that point.
No, because,
They're
well,
counting.
give me. Oh, let's. So basically, in the email, as discussed, the following items. So basically, what was underestimated was mobilization, concrete pad complete, trench drain complete, 6-inch plug valve complete, and turf restoration. So it wasn't just one thing.
What is concrete mobilization?
No, those are separate. items.
Mobilization is them coming out.
The truck's driving.
Well, a little more than that.
$6 until they repeat.
So and that maybe fuel played in a little bit there, Billy, but I mean, there were several things on there that were shut off. So,
I don't know, we'll see, because we're gonna have at least one bid coming up for the street signs, and it is for the traffic signals on 72. And we'll see how the estimate and proposal to what people are gonna bid, because we're so far into the construction year already. Hard is it, right? We'll see, same with the next project. One that he just said to us. If we do this in June, you're way late in the year. You may get a good price, but probably not too.
well, the only nice thing on that is that's quite a specialized job.
That's
So
true,
there's a lot of
and that helps. And that helps.
Not every excavating company can do
No,
that.
and I'm sure that the street signs aren't
Where are we at?
general construction.
I think we stopped at Williams. We're going
We're going waiting.
Jen,
That's a waste, man.
I hate waiting, but it is what it is.
Wait.
The outcomes.
All right, so we're waiting.
Wait,
I'll tell you more. Do you have one to it?
Anything further, Patrick?
Oh, that's all.
John?
It was just. So,
There was just some discussion about some of our fees. Example being somebody gets shut off at their house and we're only likely to be charging $200 to turn the water back on. Well, about all this, we can change those fees from time to time just to be more in alignment with what our actual costs are or what we're actually absorbing. So based on that, do you think $200 is a fair price or up that? I think 200 is a little affordable when people like a little bit more. I think they might,
What do we shut somebody's water?
If they haven't paid it or what?
Well, no, what's that duration? What's a while?
Oh, my,
Discretion.
they a lot of.
Is it?
So, you want.
Oh, I won't.
500.
200.
Just
Well, you got,
We gotta recoup that splash pad fee somehow.
I just wondered how much it
All
cost.
that fresh water running up to the.
Isn't it just that spindle thing you stick in the turn? Is that right?
it's just a measurement.
well, the-
Yeah. If that
it's
is,
the knowledge to turn them.
that's $200 worth, I see that.
It's more penalty than it is time and
I
labor.
gotta do that. I don't have a problem.
All the employees time to. Not just.
I-
not just-
I'm fine with it.
200 stuff.
I wouldn't go.
And
more than
sometimes it's driving out there and fighting it.
More?
Well, I just
We
think, you
just-
know, 200 seems lower than.
But Brett, how easy is it to find them?
Easier now.
They're all-
Oh, well,
Yeah.
The one that's six inches out of the ground shouldn't.
And then the only other thing that was in the works, obviously, we have a water ordinance. I think there's been a little discretion used on some portions of it. What I would like to see change is, for instance, we have a house that's owned by somebody owns a house and they're renting it. And the way the ordinance is defined is the owner of the property is to pay the bill, not the tenant come in and pay it. And one of the last houses I'm talking about, we shut the water off, and I think The discretion on all the other ones, I'm comfortable with that. I don't know if we've had that many, but when one of them does what this one did and was letting the tenant pay and had to been aware if his notices go to both, that the water was going towards shut off. And still didn't even come into the village and say, hey, I want to make this right. I'm assuming they haven't made it right yet, right?
Always been kind of.
So that being said, they're just gonna wait probably till they find another tenant before they worry about clearing up that mess. But I think moving forward, at least with that particular address, since we did give a little discretion there, they need to pay the bill. I mean, that's the way
They
the
who?
owner of the property.
The way the ordinance is written is the owner of the property is supposed to pay the bill.
They're responsible.
Yes.
They're responsible at the end of the day.
No, they're responsible month to month. But I'm saying we had a little discretion where we were allowing the tenant to pay it and the landlord wasn't having to do that. And the discretion's fine, but in this instance, this landlord didn't do their fair
But
share.
ultimately, the homeowner is gonna be responsible for whatever bill is allowed to bring their tenant.
Yeah, then we gotta go through
No, I understand.
possible
but
liens
If
and.
we shut off the water, and we're not gonna be going asking for a tenant who's moved out.
So I guess the question is, do we want it so that the owner of the property is physically walking in, mailing or whatever, paying it? Or are we just comfortable at the end of the day, if this all goes south, they'll pay for it again? It doesn't make a difference to me one way or the other, but I'm saying.
I think the tenant should be able to pay the water bill that they're incurring and be able to be.
Well, the way it was written, the reason it was written that way was that the owner of the property is the one responsible for the bill. The bill is supposed to go to them. We were actually mailing it to both, which incurs more cost for us. So it should go to them, let them pay it. They can settle up with their tenant. The tenant can pay them for it. That's the way, at least we're getting, that's the way it was originally written and that's the way it was said.
And you should need to leave it like that, because the truth is, ultimately, the homeowner is gonna be responsible. If the tenant leaves, the bill is still somebody.
Owner of the property.
That makes sense. I would not advise formally inserting your ordinance anything that would involve Village Hall declining a tender of payment. If the tenant comes in with money, take it.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
I mean,
Like,
the
the
concept-
tenant should be able to know what their bill is, right? Like,
I'm not even suggesting on the front end any change in procedure of how your letters are going out. Just if there's a debt that's accruing and someone is coming in with the money, take the money.
Yes.
No, I understand.
But I mean, does the board still want to send 2 water bills out? Or just send the one to the homeowner and let them,
Owner of record.
Thank
Right.
the owner of record.
right now.
78 cents.
But not all renters are bad. So
No, I understand.
What I'm saying is, with this particular one, since they've already proven you could just have it so that they.
How many-
understand what they own.
How many water bill accounts get a double bill, one for the property owner and for the tenant?
we'd have to look that.
Would be that.
Talking 5 or we're talking 25?
Probably up to 25.
But I would say add $1 to each bill customer that wants a double bill.
You think
Reason
that's
that-
that?
Well, we'd have to create a new fee to do it.
That's fine. No reason we should be incurring 25 to 30.
I agree.
Or $25 to $30 a month. To do multiple properties in the village that want multiple bills.
And
I
that's
agree.
per property, in case somebody has multiples.
So then, if by this submission, if the homeowner would like to only receive the bill, are we going to allow that to happen?
Yes, they're the
If the
property.
property owner, if the bill goes to the property owner, we can send that. If they want 2 bills sent out, we charge them an extra $1
No.
to cover the cost of the materials and time.
Something like that. That bill's.
If you have 1 or 2 owners, it's a monopoly. There's no reason we have to go through all that.
Let's see what the number is.
All right, John's done. Moving on. Unfinished business. Dan. And then I gotta get a hold of DeAndre, so we haven't connected. So that's done. Unless anybody has any questions. Public? John makes a motion to adjourn. Chris seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Adjourned at 6:44.
Yeah, some places will say that they're jointly and separately liable.